I do want to segue to a real big issue that I think you all would have spoken about last week, but we didn't get to show up last week because of Travis. And so, the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the Rooney Rule was implemented when this is new information I didn't know until this came up. The Rooney Rule, long story short, was implemented because Johnny Cochran, when he was still alive, was going to sue the NFL for the lack of diversity when it came to coaching, GMs, and owners.
Mm-hmm.
And the owners' responses that they put in the Rooney Rule, named after Pittsburgh Steelers owner, to that every time you make a coaching hire, you had to at least interview one minority candidate.
Mm-hmm.
The idea was that if you get the minority candidate in front of people, he is used to the process of interviewing, and it can lead to future jobs and success going up the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
The Rooney Rule has been it just has been a disaster. We have coach teams that aren't even following the rule. They're not even offering a minority candidate. I wanted you to speak to one, the Rooney Rule itself and its effectiveness, but I also wanted to speak to two, why is the NFL having such issue with having the minority on the field, but not the minority with the headset?
Okay. Well, first of all, we talked about a few minutes ago. The NFL and coaching in general has always been referred to as the good old boy network. Because at the end of the day, somebody's kid comes up to be a coach, just like the Shanahan.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's multiple Shanahans out there. There's a lot of dads who have kids who are coaches. And they get them into coaching and whatnot, and that's the way it goes. So now as far as the rule itself, and I said it a couple weeks ago when Marvin Lewis was brought in by Jerry Jones. What I tell y'all? I said, that's Jerry Jones sticking his finger up his nose and flicking a big old booger at the NFL like, okay, I had to interview somebody. Well, I interviewed somebody. So therefore, I'm good, and now I can hire who the hell I want. And he hired the dude the next day. I mean, what's the name?
Mike McCarthy.
No. Your boy Marvin. Marvin Lewis hadn't checked out his hotel yet. and then, what's wrong? And they already hired Mike McCarthy. Because, I mean, that's my whole point. The way the rule is set up now and the way the rule is done, it's just totally abuse. Because all you have to do is, I guarantee Jerry Jones said, you know what? Don't go on this search. I don't want BNME, and I don't want all these jokers coming in here and whatnot trying to be serious with me because I'm not hiring none of them anyway. Mm-hmm. So therefore, just go get me somebody. You know what? Get Marvin Lewis in here. You know, I always want to talk to his old sorry ass. Let me ask him how he can possibly go 15 years without winning a damn playoff game. I mean, seriously, because that's all you have to do.
Well, now let me add a little nuance to it, just because I know we get some people that are haters don't understand what's going on. The nuance behind it is that, so at one point in time, when African Americans especially were interviewing for coaching positions, they were telling them, well, you haven't been a coordinator yet,
right?
So that's why we can't give you the head coaching job because we want someone with play calling or something similar experience. And then so then a lot of black coaches, a lot of black coaches became coordinators, and they started working that circuit too. And then now all of a sudden, like you said, we're seeing more position guys becoming, even down to special teams coaches. John Harbaugh was a special teams head coach. Never called defense, never called offense to delete at the Ravens job. And so again, so when we say this, that it's a flawed system, and I know it's only 2 minutes, but what do you think can be done to fix the system?
Well, here's my thing. I know nobody's going to want to hear this, but I mean, it's almost, to me, it's going to have to be something mandatory. And if you don't make it something mandatory, I don't think anybody's going to do it. Because you got owners with egos and everything else. And I mean, I think they think the Rooney Rule is even too extravagant for them.
Right,
because they, you know, as an NFL owner, it's like, I'm the one who's got all the damn money, who's paying all these bills and everything else around here. So nobody's going to tell me what to do with my team.
Right.
Kind of thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that there should be a minimum of, you know, I would say a third of the NFL's coaches ought to be minority coaches.
Oh, I 100% agree.
I mean, it should. I think it should be that way anyway, because at the end of the day, that's who's doing everything else. This isn't about race per se or whatever. I'm just trying to make you understand that we can talk about that, and nobody really wants to talk about that, but we don't have to worry about that when it comes to talking about owners.
Right.
We don't have to worry about that when it comes to talking about coaches. But when you talk about the guys who are out in the field versus the guys who are in the house.
Right.
It's a whole lot more out in the field than it is in the house.
Right. I like the way that you put that too, because we can talk about some overtones on that.
Yeah.
And then I guess the last thing too, I would say to you saying maybe enforcing it. And I don't know the parameters about this. I feel like we have a lot smarter audience than me and you both.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because the NFL takes public funds to build stadiums, it should be some kind of requirement that they have something that maybe evens the playing field or whatever the case may be.
Folks, you're listening Straight from the Hip.